This is planet Earth in the 21st century. For decades, one nation dominated the global order. American military power projected across the oceans. New York became a symbol of wealth and influence, but in the East, a new flag began to rise. Shanghai's skyline announced China's arrival. Two superpowers now stand face to face. Global headlines speak of growing rivalry. The map of power is quietly changing. Washington watches the shift with concern. After World War II, the world lay in ruins. Europe rebuilt under American protection. Wall Street became the center of global finance. The dollar became the world's reserve currency. Military bases spread across strategic regions. Alliances secured America's global influence. Naval fleets controlled critical sea routes. The Pentagon directed unmatched military strength. Nuclear deterrence defined the Cold War era. The Berlin Wall fell, marking a historic victory. American forces fought wars far from home. Times Square reflected cultural and economic power. Presidents promised stability and leadership. A global network of bases maintained presence. The Statue of Liberty symbolized the American century. Meanwhile, China began transforming from within. Rural landscapes turned into modern megacities. Factories became the engine of global manufacturing. Cargo ships carried Chinese goods worldwide. High-speed rail connected expanding urban centers. Mega infrastructure projects showed bold ambition. Technology districts glowed through the night. Microchip production became strategically critical. Military parades displayed growing strength. Aircraft carriers expanded naval reach. The Belt and Road extended influence across continents. Chinese-built ports increased overseas presence. Diplomatic engagement followed economic expansion. Artificial intelligence labs drove innovation. Xi Jinping promised national rejuvenation. Artificial islands changed South China Sea dynamics. Space launches demonstrated technological confidence. Skyscrapers reflected rapid economic growth. The yuan emerged as a currency challenger. Students prepared for a competitive global future. Competition slowly turned into direct rivalry. Trade containers became symbols of economic conflict. Stock markets reacted with sharp volatility. News headlines announced an escalating trade war. Semiconductor chips became the new battleground. Factories slowed as supply chains fractured. Citizens felt rising economic pressure. Warships maneuvered in contested waters. fighter jets increased presence over the Pacific. Taiwan became a critical flashpoint. Amphibious military drills sent clear signals. Diplomatic meetings grew increasingly tense. Cyber warfare expanded into the digital shadows. Satellites monitored every strategic movement. Global supply routes showed signs of strain. American naval patrols intensified in the region. Missile tests demonstrated expanding capabilities. Press conferences reflected rising political tension. Leaders spoke firmly about competition and resolve. Economic graphs displayed growing uncertainty. At home, America faced political division. Industrial regions struggled with economic transition. Urban inequality became increasingly visible. Research laboratories continued driving innovation. Silicon Valley remained a technology powerhouse. The dollar continued dominating global trade. Aircraft carrier groups maintained military superiority. Allied leaders stood united in strategic partnerships. China's property market began showing weakness. An aging population raised long-term concerns. Rising debt pressured financial stability. Growth rates slowed from previous highs. Public protests reflected social frustration. Innovation rivalry intensified between both nations. The reality became complex on both sides. The future of global power now hangs in balance. Diplomatic handshakes offer a path to stability, yet the world could divide into rival blocs. Military command centers prepare for every scenario. Naval fleets stand ready across the oceans. The Taiwan Strait remains highly sensitive. Cyber networks connect and divide nations. The United Nations calls for calm and stability. Global trade continues despite rising tensions. Breaking news, alerts, fuel public anxiety. World leaders gather in high-stakes summits. The next generation watches this historic shift. Airports and ports reflect deep interdependence. Financial markets signal persistent uncertainty. Radar screens monitor the unknown horizon. The sun sets over a changing Pacific. A lone figure reflects on a transforming world. The Earth turns toward an uncertain era. A flickering flame symbolizes fragile stability. One question remains: who will shape the next century? Subscribe GeoTalks for more such geopolitical contents.